Well, good evening, Denver Broncos country. This is the Denver Bronco Roundup, brought to you by the Rocky Mountain Sports Network. I'm just one of the co-hosts of the show. My name is Keith Brugman. I've got Albert Mile High Dutchy. I've got Trevor Salzman. I've got Jody Moncrief. We have a request out for a special guest. We hope to have them on. If you've already seen the promotion, it's Dove Valley Deep Divers' very own Lance Sanderson. So hope to have him on here soon as well. Man, things are just already starting to move along, starting to matriculate down in Dove Valley, I guess you could say. But before we get into everything, got to say hello to my co-host. I'm not going to be the only one speaking tonight. It's also going to be Albert Mile High Dutchy as well. Albert, say hello.
Hello. It's a good weekend, so I think we're gonna see a really nice Super Bowl game. I hope that this time the roles are being changed, and I'm gonna root for the Niners.
Well, there you go. There you go. So going for the Niners, already giving out some predictions. Love it. Love it, Albert. Albert's always coming in here, being positive. We're getting a What's Up, Boys by Mr. Kurt Valente and saying, Dutchy. Of course, Dutchy was over on the K&K Sports Show. What was it, just last week, Albert? Yep. Kurt, Kenny, all the boys over there, Paul Rosen, Carson, Scoops, you name it. K&K Sports Show. Fantastic guys over there. Need to check them out. They got a fantastic Broncos show. I was all up and down the comment board on their Giants show last night. Guys, check out the K&K Sports Show, just like we need to check out Mr. Jody Moncrief, the judge himself. How are we doing, Judge?
What's up? Ready to talk Broncos. Couple big moves this week for the Broncos, or what some would say is big moves.
Yeah, absolutely. Figured we'd get right to that right off the bat, but before we do, got to say hello to everybody. So I'm going to kick it over to Mr. Trevor, the Rocket Man Salzman. How are we doing, Trevor?
Hey, Keith. Hey, everybody. Just looking forward to a great show, and let's kick it off.
Yeah, let's kick it off. Absolutely. Evening, gents, coming in from Michelle Knoppers. We got Aloha Boys. Might say Facebook user, but I know who that is. That's Mr. Patrick Wiltsey. How's it going? Same with this one. Sup, family? Says Facebook user, but I know who that is. Welcome back. Good to see you guys as well. So, Mr. Ernie Mays. Hello, all four. Go Broncos country only. I can't see. NFC beats AFC in Super Bowl 58. So that would be another vote for the 49ers if we're keeping track there. Kurt Valente coming in and saying the judge, run the ball, play defense. And Trevor, what's up, my friend, coming in from Kurt Valente as well. So that being said, let's kick it off. A few things have been matriculating in Dove Valley. Let's start off with Trevor. I'll let you make your choice. I know that we're talking about some front office type of moves. I'll let you choose one and talk about it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I can't remember the guy.
Well, I'll give you the two names. We have Pete Carmichael.
The scouting.
Yeah. Cody Rager. Or
I'll start with.
Go ahead.
That's it, right? I was going to say Cody Rager. So I'll start with him, and that'll be my pick. So I guess, we don't know too much about him. Just that him and Sean Payton worked pretty closely with the Saints. They had, pretty good, couple good drafts there. with Rager, and he was a big part of it. I believe he was one time was a national scout for the Saints back in the day. And I think it's a guy that they're going to miss. They did not want to let him go, but in the NFL, you get promotions, and Denver's willing to offer him that just to bring him into the building. I think I don't by any means people. Some people are saying the building. Well, he might be a replacement for George Payton down the line. I don't know if I go that far. Again, he's being brought in to be a scout, more or less, and help him with the draft. Which again, this offseason they're going to really need to rely on into the draft, and as their the cap ramifications, of course, with this team, and just the picks that they have, you're gonna have to really hit in those mid rounds, rounds 2 to 5. You're gonna have to really hit in that. So I think this is a big hire for them, and hopefully something that we see pay off down the line.
Yeah, 3 years assistant college scouting director, and then before that 3 years as a national scout. Been with the Saints organization for 9 years in total. Jody, what did you think about the hire of Mr. Cody Rager to vice president of player personnel? Might need a mic though, bud. I don't know if we got that on yet.
It's just another one of Peyton's, someone Peyton's worked with. We now can, I guess, with the both hires, we can now officially say the Denver Saints, I guess.
We are looking at new uniforms maybe coming out, so be careful what you're talking about there, man. Might have a LaFleur or in with the Bronco mane. I'm not sure. So
anything to help after last year's draft. I mean, we were the second worst ranked draft out of all the teams. Besides really Marvin Mims, what really stood out for anyone, and that was mainly on special teams. We didn't get really any production offensively or defensively. Half of the guys didn't even dress. So
yeah, we can get into that. But do you think that this is going to be a help or a hindrance with Cody Rager coming in? Do you think this makes a change in how we go forward with our draft?
I don't think it could hurt. It couldn't get any worse than last year, in my opinion.
There you go. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Halbert, what were your thoughts? Did you have anything to add on Cody Rager? And then I'll have you kick us off on Pete Carmichael as well, former Saints OC that just took a senior offensive assistant, it seems, as well. But Cody Rager first. What were your thoughts?
My thoughts on the new logo. Are we going to see a D with a halo around it?
There you go. I'm an Angels fan, so that already got me going already. So go ahead, though.
So yeah, I'm really surprised. Is this guy Carmichael really going to develop a system that will fit Russell Wilson if they're going to keep with Russell Wilson? Or are they really going to look further and see if they really want to get a Drew Brees type quarterback? That is the big question, because if they are set to a system, then Russell Wilson might not fit. Or are they going to change Russell Wilson's play style? I think once you have played a certain play style as a quarterback, I think you're pretty much set, especially if you've done it for 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it is much easier for a head coach and an offensive coach to adapt to a player's style. So I really don't know what to think about this entire hire.
Very good. Very good. Jury is out, but the judge is in. What do you think about Pete Carmichael coming on board? Jody, what are your thoughts?
It's kind of just a whatever for me. He's just another Saints guy again. He's not going to be calling plays. I think he's more of a yes man to Peyton. It's another guy that if it comes down to who has the most votes, that's somebody that will have Peyton's back. And I wanting to, he knows what Peyton likes. Was there like 10 years with him. So I don't really see I don't see it really making that big of a difference, because Peyton's still going to run his his offense, and till we see him change some things up, it's going to be the same thing.
Fair enough. I will say this: as much as Peyton is surrounding himself with Saints people, he's setting himself up for either success or failure. I'll put it that way. If you want to say, hey, these are all the guys that I need to surround myself with in order to be successful, and you're handpicking them left and right, you better hit. You're either going to have success or failure. Trevor, what were your thoughts on Pete Carmichael?
Yeah, so I think this is the guy that honestly, if he would have been available last offseason, I think we would have seen Peyton bring him in as his OC. I don't know how much senior, offensive assistant and what that exactly means for him, what he's like, where he's going to be involved in this team in. Is he getting bumped up? Is he getting bumped up to OC? What's who has the more to say? Is it Lombardi or is it Carmichael? We'll see. Again, Sean Payton's offense, end of the day, he'll have final say. It's just, again, another guy that they bring in from the Saints, and it's just, we'll see. I mean, I don't think he's a bright offensive mind. There's a reason why the Saints let him go. So I don't know that, it's a great hire for Denver. I think the Gregor hire is definitely more of intriguing hire than the Carmichael one, in my opinion. Just doesn't really do a ton. And please stop with the Taysom Hill come to Denver talk. Hopefully that doesn't start becoming a thing because this guy's got a $16 million dead cap hit. So how is Denver gonna get him? I mean, the Saints already are in cap hell, so that I'm done with the whole Taysom Hill stuff. Is it not everybody from Sean Payton's team is coming to Denver? We've seen this around the league though multiple different times where these head coaches will bring in guys that they're familiar with. So I'm not surprised. I mean, I think we talked about it on one of our shows that as soon as Carmichael got released from the Saints and they cut him, from being their OC, he was a guy that we could see coming here to Denver. Just what his role will exactly be will be interesting, I think, down the line.
Very good. I got to get back to this chat board. Pearl's coming in, got the comment up on the board saying, hi, all, and hello, Pearl. Appreciate you coming in and being part of the show. Every single show, it seems like Pearl rarely misses us, and if she does, she comes in and tells us why and apologizes and tells us she's going to watch us later. So we appreciate it very, very much. Graham came in. I had him up on the screen for a while saying, hey guys, Graham, we appreciate it so much. Kenny's coming in, Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick himself. He says, the best there is, the best there was, and the best that ever will be. DBR, what's up, fellas? Looking forward to hearing from Lance tonight. That makes two of us. We might have to delay Lance. I haven't heard back from him as of yet, and hoping that he was going to be here for maybe the top of the show. So Kenny's coming in, just giving a nice little comment to Mr. Dutchie himself, saying, good stuff, Dutchie. Liked your take on it. So Michael Ronquillo coming in saying, good evening, Keith, Jody, Albert, and Trevor. Big orange and blue hearts, big clapping it up. Appreciate you so much, Michael. You are the man. I'm always in here, always supporting another guy that's always there. Yes, the Ronk is in the house. I love it, Michael. I've said that a few times. I wasn't sure if you liked the Ronk, so I kind of hid it. I put it away, but loving that you're loving it. You are the Ronk, in my opinion. So Kenny's coming in here, doing the right thing over on YouTube, typing in winner. That's winner, WINNER. That's how you get entered for our giveaway. I got to get it out the door here pretty soon, and we're starting to stack up these names, guys. So I think it'll be happening here shortly. Again, we got a throwback 1998 John Elway starting lineup, figurine, 12.5 inches, and then we got a nice little signed training camp memorabilia piece as well. He's saying, if I win, can I have a second drawing for one of you both, for your Bronco fans, Keith? Oh no, you don't get to take my Bronco fans instead. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, Michael Ronquillo is the GOAT. All right, guys, kind of got that out of the way. Like I said, was hoping that we could get Lance in. Maybe he pops in. If we do, we're going to go right to Lance, guys. We have some thoughts and questions and ideas that we're going to get from him as well. Lance is busy man, and we respect his time and appreciate even the offer of coming up. So Patrick Wilsey has a quick question, and I'll throw it up here real quick. You got three options to say, guys: trade up, trade down, or stay put. Trevor, trade up, trade down, stay put. Your opinion, what would you do?
Trade down, but depending on where the board's at.
Very good. Trade down, but depending on the board. Jody, trade up, trade down, stay put. How do you enter into the draft, in your opinion? Oh,
I'm the same. Trade down unless Brock Bowers falls to you, then I'll trade down.
fair enough. Answer for Mr. Patrick Wiltsey, Albert. Trade up, trade down, stay put.
Just what Jody said. If Brock Bowers is there at 12, then pick him up there, otherwise trade down and get some extra picks.
This is what I will say then, along the same lines. I'll say trade up, because honestly, if any of these quarterbacks fall, just like if Brock Bowers happens to be there, you guys want to stay put. Well, if the right quarterback falls down the board, this is one of the best drafts as far as quarterbacks has been concerned that we've seen, and we might see for a little while. So maybe we should just trade up, or at least consider that thought. So I know that we're not in that position, but we gotta think. And of course, Pearl's coming in here saying trade down. Ernie Mays is saying trade down, but Kenny is saying trade up if someone slips the Denver love. So kind of along what I was saying as well. So appreciate that. Appreciate the question. But guys, I wish I had a drum roll sound effect. I should get that all queued up one of these days. Be perfect for right now. We're talking top 10 list for the Denver Broncos 2023-2024. That means that we roughly had 53 guys on the roster. There were some guys that came on, some guys that came off, some guys that left the Broncos but were on the roster at one point. So about we got like a 15 to 20% chance of making this list. About 1 in 5 guys will make this list. That means if the 4 of us were sitting here and Lance popped in, only one of us would make it, guys. Only one of us were worthy of making the top 10 Broncos of 2023-2024. We're going to go number 10 to number 1. Let's start off with Mr. Albert Mile High Dutchy. Albert, let's start off with your number 10 overall Bronco in the 2023-2024 season. Who do you got for us, buddy?
Marvin Mims, our special teamer. He did excellent. He is the number 1 returner, and so he earned to be in my top 10.
Very nice, man. Very nice. Had a fantastic year for the Denver Broncos. A guy that we traded up for, certainly paid dividends in multiple ways. Number 10, Marvin Mims, and guess what? Right there with you, buddy. Ernie Mays coming in with Marvin Mims as his number 10 as well. So get one more in since we have it right here. Number 10 for Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick is McLaughlin, undrafted rookie. Excellent story. Can improve in 2024. Let's head on down to the judge, man. Always love the judge's list. He'll hit this microphone on. He's going to give us number 10.
I had Marvin Mims too. Not so much what he did on offense, but I mean, a Pro Bowler, special teams, over 700 return yards. I thought he did pretty well there. Hopefully he can take a step this year on learning the route tree better, running the routes, and become a top 3 wide receiver for the Broncos. Very
good. Very good. Look at how can you not love a person like Pearl? I agree, by the way, guys. Two votes, 3 if we talk about Ernie Mays coming in here with Marvin Mims already at number 10. So had a fantastic year. I will say, not to start giving away hints or anything like that, is on my list, but you won't hear him at number 10 from me. So obviously a little bit further up the list, but Pearl's coming in and saying, problem, you 4 are in my top 5. Wow. Thank you, Pearl. Appreciate it, man. Making me blush, and I could use a little color here. But that being said, Trevor, who do you have at number 10?
Yeah, I agree with you, Keith. I have Mims on my list, but a little higher. Will Lutz is my number 10, 88% field goal kicker this year. Vastly improved from where we had with McManus. I think that you can argue, yeah, he'd be a little higher, but thing is, I mean, some of these other players are by a little bit more because they play more than obviously a kicker. But Will Lutz, I mean, he's a guy that just was steady, not early on, but more towards middle of the season and towards the end. He really was solid for them. So I give me Will Lutz at 10.
Very good. Kenny stealing my line. Oh, by the way, Michael Ronquillo is also saying Mims is number 10, but Kenny, always the sweet talker. I should have had him write in my responses because Pearl is number 1 in my book, is what Kenny says. Goodness gracious, I should have had that line. Dang it! All right, guys, my number 10.
My number 1 is Michelle.
Oh yeah. Woo! Better watch it. Yeah, you're right. I have a different number 1 as well. Number 1 as far as again being part of that Roundup royalty. Pearl's right up there, man. Roundup royalty. Yep. My number 10, guys, it's a guy I've been pounding the table for. It's a guy that I'm hoping that we find way to re-sign. It's one of the few bright spots I think that we can talk about on the offensive line, a guy that came in with a lot of question marks and played quite well. I'm going to put Lloyd Cushenberry at number 10. A center that now looks like he's going to get a big payday. Was PFF 9th best. He was the second best pass blocker as well. Only 1 sack and 5 penalties on the year. 1 sack allowed. So that being said, guys, I'm going to pound the table. Lloyd Cushenberry makes my top 10. I gotta say, I gotta look from Albert. Albert, I'm taking Lloyd Cushenberry didn't make your top 10 list. Yeah, keep in mind we are on Apple Podcasts and also on Spotify for everybody out there. I guess I'll translate. That was a big head shake from Mile Albert, Mile High Dutchy in a no fashion, a big no fashion. So didn't make his list for sure. But hey guys, when you're talking about a guy that we might not be able to re-sign because he's going to go out there and get paid a big contract. And at the very beginning of the year, we were all saying, really, we're going to rely on this guy to be our center. For me, I think that's somewhat worthy, and that's why I have him there. So let's go back around the other way. Trevor, who do you have at number 9?
Yeah, so this might surprise some people, but I have Patrick Surtain at 9. Again, if you look at the numbers, he's just down this year. When it comes to you look at some analytics, receiving yards allowed on completion, 660. Year before it was 468. Yards after catch and completions, 177. That's the highest of his career. Missed tackles, he has 8. He just these numbers this year. His completion percentage against him, 59%. And that's the largest of his young career in Denver. So again. And PFF didn't grade him too highly as well. Like 69 is what they had him as overall grade. So he wasn't graded really high. He just one of his down years. I still love Patrick Surtain. I think he's still a generational corner. I just think he had a down year this year, and he's not that Denver's problem. And some of the ways he might not be the problem. It's just his numbers suggest different for me this season, anyways. That doesn't mean that's that he's a huge issue for the team. I still love Pat Surtain, and I still would not trade him for a quarterback, in the draft. So Pat Surtain at number 9 for me, honestly, with everything else going on, he almost didn't make my list.
It's very good. Wow. Blistering. We might have to throw this back out here and get this recorded, play this back a little bit later, and maybe PS2 and everybody else calls you out, like another guy that I know. Michelle Knopper's coming in and saying, "Oh, Dutchy, love you, and the rest of you guys rock," and with a big heart in there as well. So appreciate it so much. Love the love that you guys have, Albert. Man, maybe we'll end up hitting you next. Kenny's coming in saying number 9 is Cushenberry for me, Keith. So. Once again, I felt I might be reaching, but I don't feel I don't feel so bad. Kenny's coming in, making me feel good about this. Graham's coming in with the shocked emoji coming in here and saying 8 players better than Surtain. Whoa, that's what I said. Might be the take of the night. Had to see. Michael Ronquillo's coming in saying PS2 is my number 9 as well. So, man, this is going to be an up and down list. Albert, who do you have at number 9?
I have the other side, Fabian Moreau.
Oh, nice.
At certain points, he was excellent. Did he have some bad calls? Yeah, but so did Patrick Surtain. I have Patrick Surtain on my list, but a little bit higher. But the reason for this is that Patrick Surtain cannot do it by himself, and I think Fabian Moreau was on pretty decent, opposite from him, and that's why he's on my list.
Very good. Very good. Number 9, Fabian Moreau, a guy that came in with, honestly, fairly low expectations. It wasn't the guy that we expected to come in and really lock down the other side on the as far as PS2 is concerned. And boy, were we wrong. He came in and he solidified for the majority of the year for the Denver Broncos. I like it, man. I like your choice at number 9. Jody, let's round out number 9. I guess, and then I'll get number 9 in because I always forget about myself. Jody, who do you have at number 9, sir?
I had Garrett Bowles. I thought you can. I mean, the penalties were down. Sacks were way down. Is he a top 5 left tackle in the NFL? Probably not, but he is a solid, probably top 10. And for all the people that just clamor to move on from him, remember what we had before Garrett Bowles. It was not good. We were moving right tackles over there, and he's been consistent there. I liked what I've seen this year from him. If it were me, I would try to extend him, save on the cap, and that's a position that we don't need to worry about in the draft.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Another guy, I'll give my little hint out there. Feel free if you guys ever hear a name that you want to give a hint on, but also a guy on my list. Not going to make it at number 9, but a guy on my list. So Graham's wondering what the heck happened with McMillan. Yeah, kind of fell off a little bit, obviously. Pearl's coming in and saying, I agree, Garrett Bowles at number 9. And Kenny's wondering if you could recap who you had at number 9, Trevor.
Yeah, Pat Surtain at number 9, Kenny. And again, it's a lot of people are going to be against that, but if you look at the numbers, man, he's still elite level. And I agree with Pearl on this one. VJ probably didn't use him the best, and also he doesn't have probably the players around him that needs to be successful. AKA why Denver should maybe take a quarterback maybe round 1. I mean,
hey, Rocket Man, it's okay. You don't have to continue to justify. Just ask the question. If you look for the shock emojis from Graham a little up ahead in the comments, man, he'd see where you had Pat Surtain. We get it. It's all good. I guess the shocked emojis can continue. At number 9, again, making the top, the top 15-20% of this overall roster. I have Mr. Russell Wilson himself. 66.4% for completions, 3,070 yards, 26 TDs, 8 interceptions, 7 and 8 as a starter, 6.9 yard average on his throws. You hope that your quarterback ranks a little bit higher on your list. But at the same time, he's worthy of making it within the top 10. Has room to improve, but is also, very good, and is capable when he goes out there. So Russell Wilson is who I have at number 9. All right, man. So, okay, there it is. That's what I was looking for. Graham's shocked emojis. Kenny's coming in, though, and saying, Keith, you and I are thinking alike. Russ is at number 8 for him. So little teaser right into number 8. Number 8, let's start off. Jody, who do you have at number 8 on your list?
I have PS2 at number 8, and basically all the things Trevor said. Was just a down year for me. Can anyone on this panel name one big play that he made this year? I can't, but I can name big plays. Patriots game that he gave up big plays, when we needed him. I don't expect perfect, but I mean, you're supposed to be, if not a top 3, the best corner in the league, and just was a little down year. I don't know if that has something to do with VJ or what was playing opposite of him. Monroe was okay, but I think that's a position that you got to upgrade. I just think it was just an okay season.
Fair enough. Obviously PS2 is on my list. I guess I could give that hint away as well, but I have them ranked higher. I have them definitely ranked higher. So Pearl doesn't. PS2 at number 8 for her. So let's get to Albert's number 8, and we'll head on down to Trevor next.
I have Javonte Williams on 8. Even although it was not a super season, he did try his utmost best, and I'm not always sure if they used him to what he's capable of. And of course, he's coming back from an
Like Dutchie froze.
Oh no, it's a Dutchie. I just assumed it was going to be me. So Pookie at number. Oh, there we go. I think he's back. All right, Pookie at number 8. You were just in the middle of kind of justifying or not justifying. Speaking about why you have Javonte Pookie at your number 8 spot, bud.
Yeah, my internet said not right now.
Fair enough.
The reason that I have him on the list is because he plays with heart. He wants to do whatever he can. He always gives at least mentally at least 110%. He might not be able to do it physically, but he's one of my favorites.
Fair enough. Number 8, Javonte. Couple of names that you guys have put on your list or have put on your list already that were close for me. Javonte is one I definitely thought about for a little bit as well, but just didn't quite make my list. Jody, number 8. Who do you have, buddy? Jody?
Are we on 8 or 7?
I'm on number 8. Did you already give me your number 8?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
I'm so sorry, man.
I'm
losing track of my number 8. So if you've already done your number 8, Trevor, did you do your number 8?
No, I have yet to go.
Okay. Hit me with number 8. I got to get number 8 in, and then we'll move to number 7.
I'll go Marvin Mims at 8. Again, I think he was just very good in the special teams area. He's a dangerous kick returner that we have not had in a long time. Again, since probably Trenton Holiday, with his speed and just the way he can separate. Teams have to play to that, and they have to pay attention to that type of stuff. Denver hasn't had that, an actual guy who could catch punts and kicks and not fumble. And so has the speed that he has, and he just needs to get better when it comes to running his routes and stuff like that. And again, that's on Sean Payton for getting him involved in the offense more. You expect more out of your second round wide receiver and trading up for him. So, but give me Marvin Mims 8.
Number 8, Marvin Mims. Jody, who did you have at number 8? Now I'm like losing track. I just want to make sure we're all online.
PS2.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, man. PS2 at number 8. Trevor was in good agreement. Felt good about his number 9 PS2 selection after you came in at number 8. So felt like he was justified. So my number 8, I have Cortland Sutton, 772 yards, 10 TDs, 65.6 catch percentage. Honestly, what made the offense go, especially in the receiving game, one of the guys that Russ was able to rely on. And, whether you look at the amount of touchdowns, 10 TDs compared to the 26 that Russ threw, or you look at the 772 yards that he put up on the, just over 3,000, he was huge crucial piece of this Denver Broncos offense last year, and came up and stepped up big. So number 8, I have Cortland Sutton. We're heading on to number 7 unless anybody has anything to talk about here. Doesn't look like it. All right. Kenny's coming in saying, every shock emoji I can find. I think this was again on the PSTU. Maybe it's on the Cortland Sutton. I'm not sure. Graham saying, don't forget those toe taps. Yeah, I mean, he was doing amazing things, and he's well deserving, in my opinion, of this list. So on to number 7. Let's head down to Trevor. We'll go around. We'll go Trevor. We'll go Jody. We'll go Albert. I'll try to keep it in line as I go last on number 7. Trevor, who do you have?
Yeah, I got Russell Wilson at 7. I kind of struggle with this because, again, there's just some things I like about Russell Wilson, and there's some stuff that doesn't. It's kind of what it is. It's tough because I think he's ultimately moved on from, but I don't think it's a lot of stuff that happened. But he did hold the ball too long, and made his offensive line look a little bad at times. He had no running game, so I can't blame Russ. But I think overall, QBR was in 20s, everything, analytic-wise, he was in the 20s with. So not horrible, but not obviously lived up to the contract that he signed. So Russell Wilson at 7, but originally I didn't have him even on the list. There
you go. Russell Wilson comes in number 7 for Trevor. Just as a recap, I had him at number 9. We have yet to see if Jody or Albert, maybe he didn't make the list. Maybe he did. We'll find out here in a little bit. Number 7 for Kenny Kirkpatrick was Mr. Mims. He says, for me, all-pro, first year, also made a few plays at wide receiver. Michael Ronquillo's coming in, saying Josie Jewell is who gets his number 7 pick. And Pearl's coming in with Lloyd Cushenberry. So over to the judge himself. Where does the judge have at number 7? Make sure we're mic'd up, too.
Sorry, I lost number. Sorry. Number 7 had PJ Locke. I thought PJ Locke played well this year at safety. Was kind of put in a difficult position with all the BS drama from Kareem Jackson. I think that's a spot that's solidified next year. I think you're pretty set at safety next year. Look for him to continue to grow. I can't complain about, and was able to come back from a couple injuries, that we didn't expect him to play, and played the next week. Fought through everything, and glad he just had a good season.
Very good, man. I think that's a very, very, very worthy selection. A guy that, I contemplated for quite some time. So head on over to Albert, or head up to Albert. That's if we're going visually on the screen. Before we do, Michael Ronquillo just chiming in saying Russell Wilson did not make his top 10, just for reference. So Albert, where are you at number 7?
At number 7, I have the Josie Outlaw Jewell. And now he was, in my opinion, he was a big exclamation point there on the secondary. He was the general of that secondary. When he was on the field, they were better, and that's my opinion. And yeah, although if they say he was not really a gap blocker against the run, if your defensive line is opening up the gaps, then Jewell and Singleton cannot do it all. So in my opinion, I have Josie on number 7.
The Outlaw. You and Michael Ronquillo slating them both in. Both of you slating him in at number 7. I got to go back to the judge really quick. Judge, looks like you're all mic'd up, ready to go. Graham's asking a question, since you had Locke at number 7. Will it be Locke's job, or do you think Stearns can compete for it? What's your thoughts on that, man?
I think Stearns can compete for it, but I think Locke goes in as a starter, and if he continues to play like he did, he's your starter. He's proved it on the field. He stays healthy, something Caden Stearns hasn't done the last 2 years. I don't even know what we're going to get from Stearns. He basically missed the last 2 seasons. It's just like with Tim Patrick. How do we know what we're going to see from these guys after basically missing 2 full seasons?
Good analysis. Good analogy, I think, as well, using Tim Patrick. That's the judge. Had to throw that up there real quick. Number 7. Oh, number 7. I guess it's around to me. I'll say this. From here on out, every single one of my selections have something in common. So at number 7,
They play for the Broncos.
besides they played for the Broncos in the 2023-2024 season. Yeah. I'm going to get you a drum set just for when Albert comes in, man. That'd be awesome, man. Just a little, even if it was like a Fisher-Price drum set, man. Get it all set up for it. So, number 7, I have the number 1 ranked guy at his position, and that's going to be fullback Michael Burton. Michael Burton went out there and earned that role, and quite honestly, played fantastic throughout this year. Picked up blitzes. I never once heard a missed block by Michael Burton. He ended up catching a 2-point conversion. I think he was dynamic. He held off a Nate Adkins that was a darling in training camp the entire year for that fullback position. For me, number 1 ranked at his position, fullback Michael Burton is who I have at number 7. Number 6, let's just wrap it back around the other way. Let's head on over to Mr. Albert Mile High Dutchie. Who do you have, Albert, at number 6?
Yeah, Mr. Interception, Justin Simmons. I have at number 6. Was he the best safety? No, but he was very, very, very good. And yeah, I really liked what he did this year. He had some hiccups, but yeah. And overall, yeah, I think he deserves to be number 6.
Very good. I agree, man. I think that he's very deserving. Got to look at not only his career, but what he did, how he solidified that back end. Graham's coming in with a funny little comment saying fullbacks are people too. So I appreciate that. And yeah, figured he needed a little bit of love. A quick question. I'll hit, since we're on Albert and we can go all the way around the horn. Albert, do you have Zach Allen on your list?
No, I do not.
All right. That's coming in from Michael Ronquillo. Jody, do you have Zach Allen on your list?
No, but he was on it about 4 or 5 times.
Very good. And Trevor, Zach Allen on your list?
Absolutely. Right in here, right now, number 6.
Oh, there you go. Sorry, I gave it away, man. I gave it away. All good. Do you have him seriously here at number 6?
Yeah.
Okay,
go
ahead.
Number 6. Yeah, for me,
buddy.
Again, he's an average to above average defensive lineman. This is a guy that he needs help. I mean, he needs help on that defensive line. Jonathan Harris and DJ Jones are not it. He's the only guy that can actually create some sort of pass rush and stop the run. And so he's an upgrade over Draymond Jones. Sorry. 38 solo tackles, 11th in the NFL, 17th in assists, that's 11th in the NFL. Sacks, he has 7th, 12th in the NFL, and forced fumbles, that's tied for 7th in the NFL. So this guy he's definitely an upgrade over Draymond Jones, and you have to get him some help. He can't be the lone wolf out there, and for me again, he was a guy that I was really harsh on at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
If you go back to watching these podcasts of ours, I was hard on Zach Allen, but he really stepped it up and improved. And credit to VJ for giving a recommendation to for the Broncos to go after Zach Allen, because he stepped up and he was an upgrade over Draymond.
Very good, man. My quick answer, certainly I was going to give you the floor once I actually stole your thunder, so I appreciate it, Trevor, but I do not have Zach Allen on my list. I'll be honest, after Trevor's discussion, I might want to take a second look. Jody, who do you have at number 6?
Jonathan Cooper. I thought he was just reliable and steady there all year. Probably their second best pass rusher. Where he came from, where he was drafted to what he's done this year. Stepping in for Browning at the beginning of the season. Plays the run really well. Just look for improvement next year. I think he was just a solid player on the defense.
Fair enough, man. Cooper, one of those guys that, in my opinion, there was a lot of pass rushers that stepped up for the Denver Broncos this year that, honestly went above the expectations of what I had coming in. Jonathan Cooper was one of those guys. Don't blame you for putting him here on the list. Fantastic season, Jonathan Cooper. Another guy I need to take another look at, though, as he did not make my list. So here we sit at number 6 for me then, I guess, because since we've kind of made it crisscross around the horn. That being said, let me get some number 6s in here as well. Or some comments in here for number 6. For number 6, Kenny Kirkpatrick has Javonte Williams, coming off of the severity of his injury and played hard and well all year. I wanted to rank him higher, but I think 6 is fair. Very good. A guy that Albert was high on in this list and already ranked in there. For Pearl, number 6 is Mr. Cortland Sutton, and right in line, Michael Ronquillo and me, I have Alex Singleton. Alex Singleton, once again, one of the leading tacklers, not only for the Denver Broncos, but in the league. Total of solo tackles of 106, outdoing himself from a year ago when he had 101. Was that guy that could be the coverage linebacker as well as assist in those holes that every running back was running through on our defensive front. Alex Singleton is the guy that I think is the most complete. I understand Josie Jewell maybe has a little bit more mind. So if Alex Singleton is ever asked to come in and wear the green dot, as they said, it'll be interesting to see if he can make that transition. But for what he did on the field and what he continues to do, here's a guy that they had very low expectations and has been playing amazing, in my opinion. So for me, I have Alex Singleton at number 6. Let's start off with Trevor. Hit the number 5. Keep going around. Or you know what? We could take a quick break. By the way, guys, doesn't look like Lance is going to make it. Haven't seen him as of yet. So we might have to reschedule Lance. I'm sure he'll be up for it. We have some great questions for him. We've had him on the Denver Bronco Roundup before. It's been too long. We wanted to get him back on here. So I want to go ahead and hopefully everything is well with Lance. So sorry, I got a little bit distracted there. Guys, while we take this little break in the middle, just wanted to remind you that the Denver Bronco Roundup is brought to you by the Rocky Mountain Sports Network. Rocky Mountain Sports Network is your spot for all your Colorado sports. So whether it be the Broncos, whether it be the Rockies, whether it be your Nuggets, whether it be your Avalanche, that is the place to go. Rocky Mountain SN is the website, guys. If you haven't been there, check them out, RockyMountainSN.com. That's RockyMountainSN.com. They're also available on Facebook, YouTube, X, you name it, guys. Of course, a lot of you guys hopefully are joining us through the Rocky Mountain Sports Network page, whether it be YouTube or Facebook currently as we go live. So thank you guys very much. Rocky Mountain Sports Network. Check them out today, guys. All right, let's just hit the top 5. It seems like we're already flying through this, guys. So let's start off with Trevor, number 5. It's starting to get into the nitty gritty now. Who do you have as one of your top 5 Bronco for the 23-24 season?
Yeah, it's Lloyd Cushenberry. He's a guy that I think just really talk about a comeback player. You know, he's been really solid this year, I think, in many different ways. And I think a guy that Denver's definitely gonna miss, and I think is unlikely to come back. You know, of all the free agents that Denver has this offseason. And it's okay, Keith. I have a center and a resolution of the draft that I don't know. I mean, possibly look at. But
okay, no, all right. Another podcast, another show. Appreciate it, man.
Exactly. But Lloyd Cushenberry for me, you know, I think he stepped up in the contract year. You know, is it a fluke year? That'll be a question, I think, for other teams in free agency when they go after him. You know, was this just a fluke year because he wasn't past years he was a guy that was below average in a lot of different areas, and so this year being average to above average, I think is really really nice to see for Lloyd Christianberry. And again, hopefully he gets paid because he deserves it. He's been solid for Denver this year.
Very good, man. Lloyd Christianberry, a guy that made my list. One that I don't think Albert was very high on, so we're not probably going to see him at number 5. But we're going to head to Jody first. Jody, who do you have at your number 5?
Justin Simmons. He's still a top, in my opinion, probably top 3 to 5 safety in the league. The game that really sticks out to me is that Viking game right at the very, that very last series. Like 3 big time hits on TJ Hawkinson breaking passes up. He's been a pro. Hopefully we can turn it around and he can get a winning, taste of playoffs with the Broncos before Denver moves on from him.
Isn't that amazing? That's still just amazing to me that Justin Simmons has never been in the playoffs for the Broncos. Just blows my mind, man. It seems like he was part of that 50 team for some reason. But couple of the number 5s coming in before we head on up to Albert Mile High Dutchie. For Kenny Kirkpatrick, Will Lutz, reliable, did his job. Easy 5 for me. For Michael Ronquillo, another name that was already come up, Mr. PJ Locke. So, and hey, got to give it up to Graham. Appreciate this. Love feedback. Love to know what you guys are loving and what you guys like. He's saying really loving these rankings podcasts. So appreciate it, man. You love it. Enough other people love it. We'll keep them coming. We'll figure out some more for you guys. So number 5, what do you have, Mr. Dutchie?
I agree with Pearl. I have the tackling machine, Alex Singleton. And I'm really surprised that he has not been selected for the Pro Bowl yet. That is something mind-blowing. I think he is the number 1 or number 2 tackling machine, most tackles in the NFL, and did not even get nominated for it. And I think that is a little bit to be ashamed of for the entire NFL, because he deserves to be in there.
Very good, man. Obviously I had him at number 6. You and Pearl have him at number 5. We all have very, very high regard, obviously, for Mr. Alex Singleton. So, and have him ranked right about the same spot. My number 5, a guy that's already been talked about. I think it was Jody that actually already brought this name up, and that's going to be Mr. Garrett Bowles. Here's a guy that, hey, we came in. We weren't sure who he was. He was racked with penalties. He had looked good. He had looked bad. But as Jody pointed out, and I believe through signaling, Mile High Dutchie, number 6 left tackle, ranked left tackle in the league. The revolving door of guys that we've had at that position. And I think what we saw from Garrett Bowles, absolutely, man. Absolutely, I think is deserving. That's a tough position, not only to hold, but be good at. And I think we have a great one right now. Once again, a guy that at the very beginning of the year, we were talking, hey, do we just go ahead and move on from him? Now it's a guy that we're going to try to find a way to bring back and make sure he's part of this Denver Broncos roster because of the play in 23-24. So number 5, I have Mr. Garrett Bowles. We're already top 4 now, guys. It's getting down to the nitty gritty. I want to get into, did I see one pop up? Oh, Ernie Mays, Garrett Bowles, 5, sounds good. So appreciate it, Ernie. Let's go ahead and let's kick off number 4 with Albert, and we'll bring it all the way back around. Sorry, Trevor, you're waiting.
I have at number 4, Garrett Bowles. Yeah, he is the number 6 left tackle in the league. He has, like you said, he hits his ups and downs from Garrett Hold'em to no holds. And so, yeah, he's doing really well. And if you talk about a player playing with passion, Garrett Bowles is one of the most passionate football players I have seen. And that every game he goes in with heart. And how often has he been injured? Last year he broke his leg. How disappointed was he because of that? And he comes back with full revenge. And yeah. Tip to the head.
Tip of the cap to the guy, man. Came all the way back, like you said, that broken leg, didn't skip a beat, came in, ready at training camp, ready from the very get. Played well. Obviously, we were in close agreement. I had him at number 5. You have at number 4. But we need to know what the judge has or who the judge has at number 4. I got to say this. I got 2 votes already coming in, Judge. One for Pearl coming in for Simmons. Have one from Kenny Kirkpatrick. Simmons, same reasons as the panel, he says. I also got kind of a surprise one, in my opinion, a name that was brought up already, but Jaquan McMillan coming in for number 4 for Michael Ronquillo. Judge, who do you have at number 4?
I have Cortland Sutton, your best playmaker at wide receiver. Really the only wide receiver that produced this year. Really the only pass catcher, in my opinion, that produced 10 touchdowns, multiple games with incredible catches. Not blistering on the yards, but you can really take away. He missed one game. You take away a game with Jarrett Stidham at quarterback. I just thought he had a great year with Russ, and hopefully we get to see them work on year 2.
Yeah, it would be interesting to continue to see what they're able to put together just based on what he was able to do. Already on my list, already named. You put out a great synopsis of what he meant to this offense and how big he was. Don't have any problem with you putting Cortland Sutton at number 4. So head on over to Mr. Trevor Salzman, number 4. Who you got, buddy?
Yeah, I have Baron Browning. Again, this is the guy that I would like to see more of, but he needs to stay healthy a full season. But this is a guy, I think, when he's on the field, he's a difference maker for this team. 10 pressures on the season. I mean, he played in 10 games, so every game he's putting pressure on the quarterback. He's yards against him. He very little. I mean, 17. I mean, that's the littlest in his throughout his whole career. He's not only just a guy who can get to the quarterback, but a guy who can also just cover. I mean, he's great in coverage as well. So it's something that kind of reminds me of a Dallas Turner that we're coming up into the draft that we'll talk about in later show. Baron Browning kind of reminds me of that kind of guy. He can get to the quarterback, but also can drop back in coverage and cover a good tidbit. And again, just the biggest question with him would be health. He's got to stay healthy.
Yeah. Both of you guys, a couple of you guys now have named guys that I just felt, as a group, fantastic. When you start talking about your Jonathan Coopers, you start talking about your Baron Brownings, you start talking about your Nick Bonitos, you start talking about these guys, and I felt like as a group, they did great. As a group, they were all in consideration for my top 10. As a group, I'll be honest, they all fell short. So if you're looking for a Nick Bonito in my top 4, you're not going to find him. Number 4 for me, I'm going to go with Quinn Miners, man. Talk about a guy who absolutely anchored a group, which was the offensive line. Here's a guy that shouldn't have to. Certainly isn't the highest paid. Certainly isn't the veteran, but certainly goes out there. And Albert was talking about the passion that Garrett Bowles goes out there and plays for. I don't know if there's a guy going out there and playing with more heart, more grit, and quite honestly, having more fun doing it than Quinn Miners, man. Truly love that guy. Is a core piece of this team moving forward. Number 4 for me. Got to give it up for Mr. Quinn Miners. So that being said, back around the horn. Let's start off with Trevor. You don't have to wait this time. Number 3, Trevor, who you got, buddy?
Yeah, I have Cortland Sutton on my list at 3. I'm probably higher than a lot of people are on Cortland Sutton. You're just what he was able to do this year. I mean, he just 6 drops all season long, and a guy that doesn't, a capable wide receiver for Russell Wilson and whatever quarterback Denver brings in going forward. I think this guy would have was on pace for 1,000 yards. I really thought he was going to be there this year, but stayed healthy. His catching percentage was 65%. I mean, he just was. I think just really reliable, really your number 1 wide receiver. And I mean, and obviously in other years, you'd rather have him be probably number 2. I don't know if he's number 1 going forward. But I think that he did a great job this year, really fitting with Russell Wilson, that connection from the beginning, which was great and on point. It's something that Russ can never get with Marvin Mims or Jerry Jeudy, but he could with Cortland Sutton, just that combination, that pairing, so much so the teams had to double team him. a lot of times and make other guys be more involved in this offense. So Cortland Sutton for me here at number 3.
Yeah, top 3, we're talking about big-time guys, and Cortland Sutton was that big-time guy. Like you said, if there was chemistry, if we could see it anywhere and just easily see it, it was between Cortland Sutton and Russell Wilson as they passed the ball around or played catch out on the football field. I guess they weren't passing it back and forth. That'd be a little weird. Jody Moncrief, Jody coming in here with his number 3. By the way, just a couple really quick. Kenny's coming in here saying he was on the same page with my number 4 on Quinn Miners, but he has him at number 3. Second vote again for Jaquan McMillan. Either that or Pearl's coming in for Brandon McManus, one of the two. But I believe that's going to be Jaquan McMillan. And for Michael Ronquillo, it's one Justin Simmons. Who do you have at number 3, Judge?
I have Nick Benito. I thought he was Denver's best pass rusher this year. No reason next year he doesn't have double digits if he stays healthy. That was probably my only knock, was that nothing his fault, but the injury right at the end of the season kind of derailed things. But I think going forward, he has a good chance next year of starting alongside Baron Browning and, wreaking havoc. People are down on Denver's pass rush a little bit, but I think it's one of their better positions on this team.
I agree.
And I think there's no reason that he shouldn't have double digits next year.
I like the projection, buddy. I like the projection. I want to see these guys go up, and I think you're right. It's probably one of the best groups that we have in whole. Like I said, it was one of the reasons I had consideration for all of them, because I think it's a fantastic group. It'll be whether we can keep them all together and for how long. It'll be interesting to see, but love to see 12 sacks from a Nick Benito or double-digit sacks, from a Nick Benito in the next year. Mile High Dutchie, we're talking about top 3. We're talking getting down to the nitty-gritty. Who do you have at number 3, sir?
I don't have an Xbox, but I have a PlayStation 2. PS2.
There you go.
I have PS2 here as my number 3. The reason for that, did he have arrows? Was he as good as last year? Maybe not. But here's also the case. Whenever the people were lining up, a lot of the times on the opposite side of PS2, we had 2 corners or safety corner watching the guy, and PS2 oftentimes was by himself. And after some, because a lot of the mistakes from PS2 would come in the second half, getting tired because you keep running with those wide receivers. So that's why I do not blame him for some of the errors. So PS2, definitely for me in the top 3.
There you go, buddy. There you go. Coming in the words of the great Lee Corso, great pick. And saying that was funny, Dutchie, from Ernie Mays. So, Jody, or I guess it's me. I guess I got to get my number 3 out, because then we're on the top 2 Denver Broncos, 23-24, and then we'll be wrapping up to probably get out of here, guys. We go a little bit over on these top 10 shows. It's always so difficult. So, number 3 for me, All-Pro selection, Pro Bowl selection, did it as a rookie, was a fantastic returner, and I think has the potential to be one of the better receivers for the Denver Broncos moving forward. None other than Mr. Marvin Mims himself. Gotta love what he did. Put up the best numbers since Eddie Royal in the return game. Remember that, guys? Mr. Eddie Royal. That's how far we date back. And so, man, Marvin Mims, I'm excited for what he's doing. I'm excited for what's in front of him. And like I said, for me, anytime you get an all-pro selection, guys, that means something right there. Those are truly your peers voting for you. So all-pro for me. Marvin Mims at number 3. So number 2, let's start off with Dutchie. Bring it back around. You guys know the drill. What do we got, buddy?
I think I will get in dangerous territory. I have Russell Wilson as my number 2. yeah, even although Cortland Sutton was very good, but he couldn't have done it without Russell Wilson. And that's the reason why Russell Wilson, I think he played maybe not his best, and that he was holding on to the ball. We knew that was going to happen. He has done it his entire career.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think if he had the times that they were playing a system that he was really used to, he was playing lights out, in my opinion. And some of those wins that we had was because of Russell Wilson, because he pulled it out of the hat. And I think that's why I have him as number 2.
Very good, man. Both on my list at top 10 list, and your list at top 10 list, just on the opposite ends. Me at 9, you at 2. So no disrespect, but certainly on opposite ends as far as our overall top 10. Love that we have different perspectives, and we've seen them fly through the comments all night long, man. I've been holding off on Michael Ronquillo. I know he's been dropping his number 2, his number 1 for a while there. Michael, I'll get to that. I like this one over on YouTube. Uno Dos 10 or Uno Dos X. Not sure which one it is, but Uno Dos X, I will say. Mims will have 3 more returns next season. By the way, this is a great reminder since we're over on YouTube. Uno Dos, type in winner, get entered for our giveaway. And for anybody else that's over there on YouTube, go ahead, drop it in, and get entered to win. We have a 98 starting lineup, 12.5-inch John Elway that we're giving away, sealed package, as well as a little bit of trainer camp memorabilia that'll be packaged in there as well. Number 2 for Pearl was Mims. Number 2 for Michael Ronquillo was Browning, not too far off from where the judge had Browning as well. So great transition. Jody, who do you have at number 2, sir?
I have Quinn Myers. I think he's a top 3 right guard in the NFL. He was graded the number 1 pass blocker in the NFL. There's not much that I don't like about him. He's a road grader in the block game, physical. You watch many plays where he just picks guys up and just throws them to the ground. And going forward, this is your core piece to this offensive line. I wouldn't trade him for nothing. I think going forward, he should have All-Pro and Pro Bowler written all over him.
There you go, man. Like I said, a guy that I was high up on my list. I apologize for the delay. I was seeing all our friends coming in with all these winners. Uno Dos all entered in. Martin, you were already there, but we got you again. Michelle, you were already in, but we got you there as well. So appreciate everyone getting registered for our giveaway, man. Appreciate all the response. Quinn Miners, like I said, a guy that I had way up there as well. Michael Ronquillo did his homework. He says Eddie Royal has 740 and Mims has 706. I did my homework. So again, maybe the most sense Eddie Royal again. So really, obviously, almost beat Eddie Royal. If not, we'd be talking about who was the guy before Eddie Royal. You know what I mean? That Mims was able to eclipse. So fantastic season from Arvin Mims, in my opinion. Though Graham had the shocking emoji when I put him up so high. Let's continue around the horn. We're at number 2 for Mr. Trevor Salzman. What do you got, sir?
Yeah, I have Garrett Bowles number 2. Again, probably another guy that a lot of people aren't very high on, but I'm pretty high on. I think he's actually really solid for Denver at left tackle. Left tackles aren't easy to find, and I think that he's provided some stability to this offensive line that they haven't had. I think actually is probably your second best offensive lineman that you have. And again, 3 different guys that are on my list that Denver's drafted that are your best offensive linemen, 2 of which are not on my list and for many reasons, but those are 2 free agent guys. So again, this team needs to continue to invest into the draft. I just think Bowles has been really solid. He just 3 sacks allowed all season long from your left tackle when he sees a lot of different pass rushers, a lot of the elite pass rushers in the league, and I think he's solid. Is he elite? Is he great? I think he's the best left tackle in the league? No, but I think he's solid enough that can get you by until you find that next left tackle via draft or however you want to go down the line. And I think that Denver should absolutely bring him back, because any quarterback that you in the NFL, I mean, you can argue left tackle is probably the second most important position on the offense side of the ball when it comes to football and just in general on the offense side of the ball. So give me Garrett Bowles at number 2.
I like a buddy, man. A guy I had at number 5, a guy that I talked about the importance, and a guy that really stepped up. I like Garrett Bowles at number 2. And then it came to me. Mr. Justin Simmons is who I have at number 2, guys. Here's a guy that solidified that back end, all Pro Bowl selection as well. Justin Simmons has been doing it so long that I think he should be on the Super Bowl 50 team. That's how long he's been around here doing it well. Lost his right hand man and Kareem Jackson. PJ Locke comes in, didn't miss a step. He was playing on the back end. How many times do we hear this, especially this year? Bad play over the head. Justin Simmons got beat deep. Justin Simmons just doesn't happen. And on top of it, he's up there and he's making plays up around the line of scrimmage as well sometimes. So Justin Simmons for me comes in at number 2. And then here it is, guys. Number 1, we had. Yeah, I know. I need the drum roll. I'm going to get it for the next top 10 that we have, guys. And by the way, Graham, again, thank you for saying that you're loving this, man. We're loving doing it. And here it is. We've done the same rotation back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Trevor, you start us off at number 1, buddy.
Why don't you start?
You want me to start?
Yeah.
Sure. Why not? All right. It's like, hey, how come you always get to go last, Keith? Okay. Number 1 for me. Number 1 for me, again, a Pro Bowl selection. And if we looked at it and we've been talking about how do we trade, who's our most valuable piece, it's Pat Surtain, guys. I know that he didn't have the largest and the best year. I know that he may have fallen off a little bit, but I still think you're talking about one of the top 3 corners even this year in this league. I think for the competition that he went up against, for the expectations that he had with the people playing around him, and like I said, the future of a franchise that nobody wants to trade away, we're talking about Pat Surtain. So for me, Pat Surtain, Pro Bowl selection in 2024, that's my number 1 pick. So there you go, Albert. That's my number 1. Now I'll go to Trevor, see what he has there, buddy.
Yeah, I think this is Denver's second most valuable player on their team. Arguably could be first this year. Quinn Meinerz. This is a guy that I think is definitely solidified himself as one of the best guards in the league. Right there with in the same draft with as PS2. And again, George Payton picked him. So this is why, again, one of the few offensive linemen that George Payton actually picked, and the Broncos have the past couple of years. But this is a guy that I absolutely hit on, and just again, last 2 sacks this season, and it's just penalties. It's not a problem with him that often. Very good in the run game, I would say as well. Just elite in my opinion. Another guy that, again, a reason why you're not going to see Lloyd Cushenberry likely not back is so Denver can pay Quinn Meinerz, because you have to pay guards at that level, and he's an elite level offensive lineman and guard in the league. So Quinn Meinerz for me is my number 1 guy.
Number 1 guy for you. Number 1 guy for Pearl. I know, hey, this is a guy that I heard Albert all year long just pound the table talking about him, how fantastic Quinn Meinerz is and how much he loved him. I know that he respects him a ton as well, but we're going to head to Jody next. By the way, Michael Ronquillo, as well as Kenny Kirkpatrick, said number 1 was Courtland Sutton. Kenny saying it was the easiest pick on the list was Courtland Sutton for him. So, Jody, where are you going with number 1?
I had Russell Wilson number 1. I think what he did this year, missing two games, top 10 completion percentage, top 10 in TDs, missing 2 games, top 10 in rating, all that without a coach that wants to commit to you, all that with 0 run game, all that with below average wide receivers for the most part. I think he carried this offense. Was he perfect? No, but we've seen what 2 games with Trevor or with Jared Stidham was going to look like. And if you think Russ was bad, buckle up if we're going 17 with Jared Stidham.
Very good, man. Russ put up a fantastic performance. A lot of people obviously not impressed with the benching and the timing of the benching. Who knows where he would have ended up stat-wise, especially, had the ability to maybe go over 30 touchdowns on the year. Who knows, probably 3,500 yards rather than the 33,000 that he put up. And like you said, I think there was a lot of limitations. This run game was not what we expected it to be, especially with the amount that we put in at free agency along the offensive line. There was a lot of pressure on Russell Wilson. He did make my top 10. Obviously, again, kind of like Albert, kind of opposite ends of the list when we were talking about Russell Wilson at number 9, and he had him at number 2. But
while everyone else is given their number 1, can I ask the chat a question?
Sure, bud.
What is the difference? What's the difference in what you see from Russell Wilson and Lamar Jackson?
There you go, guys. The chat, he wants to know.
One got benched, and one is probably going to be the league MVP. What is the difference, really?
There you go, man. We'll be reading those chat comments later, and I needed to get to some chat comments because Kenny pointed out to me, and I appreciate this, Kenny, trying to keep track of everything, a top 10 list, all the comments, the whole 9 yards. Michael Ronquillo sent us 100 stars, guys. He says, I know it doesn't show up in our chat. He wanted us to know, man, let's give it up. Clap it up for Michael Ronquillo, guys, because the Ronk came in. Big support, man. Appreciate you so much, man. Can't really I can't tell you how much we appreciate that, man. We're just a little show over here on the side. It means a ton. We're trying to get bigger. We're trying to do 3 shows a week. Rocky Mountain Sports Network is growing as well. We're trying to do this all for you guys. And when you guys come back in here with appreciation like that, man, we love it. We love it a ton, man. Again, just everybody wants to know, Jody wants to know from everybody in the comments. If you don't mind dropping it in, though, we'll take a look at them. Difference between Lamar Jackson, difference between Russell Wilson, other than being benched for the last 2 games of the season. But with that being said, I want to head up to number 1 from Mile High Dutchie. Albert, who do you have at number 1?
The number 1 loser, in my opinion, is Randy Gregory.
Oh, that's a different list.
Yeah,
not the homework assignment problem again, are we? No.
No, my number 1 is none else than number 77, Quinn Miners. And we already have seen it all. We already said it all. But once in a while, if you see him, Quinn Miners, up in the secondary and going after the running backs or quarterback, and you see him pushing the running backs forward, even lifting them up. We have seen that as well. Last year, for example, he tossed Williams over the goal line. So yeah, Quinn Miners is for me the number 1, and I think it will take quite an effort for anybody else to overcome him as the number 1.
Nice. Like I said, much respect, I think, has been given across this pod in general for Mr. Quinn Miners. I think, if I remember correctly, do we all have Quinn Miners ranked top 5? Yep. Okay, that's what I thought. Graham's coming in with his. His was Riley Dixon for Graham. Congratulations. I know that special teams are important, Graham, so I appreciate you pointing out. Hey, punters are people too. So I appreciate that, Graham. I gotta point this out, especially since the guy gave out 100 stars. Kenny's pointing out that Michael Ronquillo said an all-time top 10 Broncos list would be fun. And we might have to just cue that one up. That's not a bad idea either. I like that idea. That's going to be a really, really tough list, man. That's talk about nixing some guys off that are going to be all-time legends and the minds of many. Top 10 Broncos list will get you there. Uno Dos coming in saying an honorable mention for him was Singleton. Along those lines, Michael Ronquillo, because I thought he was playing around with his top 10 list. I did say that I did see where he had, and he put Russell Wilson was number 11 on his list. So that just barely missed it spot, that Mr. Irrelevant almost made it, did make it. He was right there at the very end, almost made his list. So, gentlemen. Oh, by the way, Kenny comes in. Alexander Madison was on his number 11 on his list. Hanging out with Randy Gregory on a different list, I think. Oh, well, that's Vikings list, Dutchy. Sorry about that. So, Pearl coming in saying she had Russ at number 10, just to letting us know kind of where everyone's thinking. And again, guys, I think that still says a lot, man. Again, we're talking at the very top of the show. If there was 5 of us on the screen, that means only one of us make it. All 4 of us right here, even though, man, I think the world of you, Trevor. I think the world of you, Jody. I think the world of you, Albert. It could be that none of us make the top 10 list if we were on a 53-man roster like the Denver Broncos. We could all get voted no. So it takes a lot to get in here and make that top 10 list. It was a tough one for me. I don't know how it was for you guys, how you guys got through it, how you end up going through. Oh, by the way, guys, I mentioned that before I get out of here, and I just wanted to mention this. I said everyone from number 7 up had something in common other than playing for the Denver Broncos. Appreciate it, Albert. Boom, boom. All 7 of these individuals that I had either were a Pro Bowler, an All-Pro, or receive votes in the All-Pro voting. So and I'll just run through it. Michael Burton, Alex Singleton, Garrett Bowles, Quinn Miners, Marvin Mims, Justin Sivens, and Pat Surtain all qualified on those. It's kind of how I cheated on my list coming in a little bit, and maybe why a lot of people are like, "What? Marvin Mims number 3? You're crazy, Keith." Guys, let's get some final thoughts. Let's get out of here. I know it's a little bit long, so Albert, we'll start with you since you're the time zone that we need to get out of here the soonest. Albert, what do you got for us?
Yeah, this was a fantastic show.
Did you do
again.
Trevor's number 1? I think you missed Trevor's.
No,
he did?
no, Quinn Meinerz. Yeah, Quinn Meinerz.
Trevor did do his. He would say did Quinn Miners. Yeah, very good. Yep. All right, Albert, kick us off, man.
Yeah, it was.
Or kick us out. One of the two.
It was a fantastic show again. A lot of activity in the chat, and I really enjoyed it. And everybody is so passionate about the Broncos and really, really love it. And thank you to Kurt, Kenny, Ernie, Patrick, my lovely wife Michelle, Adam and Kayla were there, Graham, Pearl, Michael, and Uno Dos X is a new one for us. Welcome to the show. And then Martin was there as well. Hopefully we can have more of these shows. And if you guys have ideas for topics, don't hesitate to let us know as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Albert, thanks for giving all the love to all our friends in the posse, as we call them, the chat board themselves. A big shout out to Michael Ronquillo, who dropped the stars this evening. Appreciate you so much. Again, Michael, keeping the lights on, as some of them might say. What I think I need a little bit of powder to bring some color to this forehead of mine. Either that or I need to find my hat before I come on. So appreciate you very much. Kenny Kirkpatrick coming in and saying, great job, fellows. Uno Dos coming in saying, awesome show, guys. First time listener. I just subscribed. Like, share, subscribe. I don't say that enough, guys. Follow us. We appreciate it a ton, and congratulations, Uno Dos. I also have your entry into our giveaway. Got that marked down right off to the side as well. Great show. Love it. Thank you guys coming in from Pearl as well. So, hey, let's go ahead and head on over to the judge. Get some final thoughts before we get out of here from him.
One more day of Russ on the roster. One day closer to him being back in 2024. I guess I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl. Hopefully Kansas City doesn't complete this dynasty. And you watch these two teams, you can see where Denver needs to improve. Tight end, even last weekend, all 4 teams had elite tight ends. All 4 teams ran the football. 2 things Denver better figure out. It doesn't matter who's under center; those are very important. And running and playing defense win you football games.
Well said, man. A good reminder that came off at the top of the show from our friend Kurt Valente saying the exact same thing. Him and Jody are on the same mindset on a lot of different things. I'll tell you what, though, Kenny, Kurt, K&K Sports Show, we're on a lot of the same mindset. We're on a lot of the same shows as we kind of cross over and have a lot of fun. And that being said, Kenny's coming in here and saying, Keith, maybe next Tuesday around the horn, Broncos style for the show. We might just be able to put that together. That might be a good call, Kenny. Thank you so much for the work that you put together. Kenny's been working a little bit behind the scenes, kind of putting together a little show for us, a little around the horn Denver Broncos style. And I think we should maybe debut that next Tuesday. So Kenny, let's get that all set up in my mind. Pearl's coming in. She's saying she's rooting for Kyle Shanahan. That's her vote and why she's going. I just got to root against the Chiefs, I'll be honest. But right now, I got to head on over to Mr. Trevor, get some final thoughts before we get out of here.
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Again, you guys are all family to us, and really appreciate you guys' comments. You guys are amazing. Michael, thank you. I mean, again, you are amazing as well. You're top of that list. When it comes to this podcast, you just from day one. We appreciate all of you. And again, but Michael, I mean, the support, man, it's been amazing from day one ever since I joined this podcast. So again, just continue this support. And Michael, again, he just loved chatting with him throughout the day as well. So thank you big time, Michael. Thank you everybody, but for coming on here and chatting with us. And we really appreciate everything you guys do. You guys make this show possible. We do it for you guys. All these ideas, everything, all the planning goes into it. It's for you guys. So again, just thank you. Uno Dos X, thanks for joining us as well. First time subscriber, and really appreciate having you on. Hope you love it. Again, like, share, subscribe, the whole 9 yards again, guys. We really appreciate it, and get this out to more Bronco fans, more people, because we love chatting in here. We have big shows planned for you guys throughout the off season, and 3 times a week we're on. Sunday 7 p.m., Tuesday 7 p.m., and again on Friday at 7 p.m. So continue to share it out, continue to share the love, and we appreciate you guys so much. And again, thank you guys for being here. Go Broncos, and keep the news coming, because there'll be more news coming in next couple weeks probably. So we'll keep the news coming to you guys.
There you go, man. Yeah, we're getting full on into it. Senior Bowl, as Michael put out there on the Facebook world. I know kicked off practice today, so that's a big one. Pearl's really big into our top 10 list that we have planned, as well as maybe that around the horn show. Graham's coming in here rooting for Christian McCaffrey. Again, going for the 49ers side of the ball. Pearl, thank you so much, saying it's a fun show. And Kenny Kirkpatrick coming in saying, if you smell what the Ronk is cooking. So absolutely. I know what I smell the Ronk is cooking. It's fantastic support and being part of our Roundup royalty. That's for dang sure. Appreciate you, Ronk, coming in here. Fantastic supporter from the day one and dropping stars again this evening. Guys, appreciate you. Appreciate the work that you put into this top 10 list, man. I know it was tough for me at times. I had guys moving around, up and off, in, you name it. It was a fun list. I've been enjoying these top 10 lists. I really appreciating all of our viewers, all of our listeners being so interactive as well, guys. You guys absolutely rock. Denver Bronco Roundup, part of the Rocky Mountain Sports Network, guys. Remember, Rocky Mountain Sports Network covers all your Colorado sports. So Broncos, Avalanche, Nuggets, and Rockies, they got you all covered. Check out the Rocky Mountain Sports Network today. Also, guys, Denver Bronco Roundup podcast. Seems like you can catch us all the time, but it's actually just Sundays, Tuesdays, and Fridays, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We're coming at you. We're bringing up top 10 lists. We're keeping you up to speed on all the latest, whether it be a Pete Carmichael or you name it, guys. We already talked about it, man. Draft coverage, Senior Bowl coverage, all these guys that are available, and the way that we're going to be heading for the Denver Broncos, all up in the air. We're going to keep you, again, up to speed and hopefully informed and have a little fun doing it along the way, guys. That being said, we're going to get out of here. I already told you when you can catch us. Like, follow, share, subscribe. Available on Apple Podcast, available on Spotify as well. But we're going to get out of here. Keep your feet in your stirrups. Keep your guns in your holsters. Keep the Broncos in your heart. Until next time, guys, we're out of here. Thank you so much. Have a great night.